substantially this year. Just for your own knowledge, a 30% enrollment rate for a well-established school-based dental program is 30%. So even though these numbers seem, like 21, 25%, doesn't seem very high, that's actually really good for school-based dental programs. So I'm really proud of you guys for really got paperwork back to us and everything. The Jody Senior is at a lower percentage. That's just always a hard demographic. So we're going to try and focus again on local dental this year and see if we can up the enrollment, because those teenagers just traditionally do not love to return dental forms. So it's not something that they want to do. So I was going to work with Ms. Reese this year and see if what we can get buy-in from those students and their parents on. And if anybody has any ideas, I am open to hearing them. The referral rates is what I really want to focus on. I was very happy that all the schools, except for Trenton, they remained about the same, went down in the amount of kids that needed treatment this year. So Comfort Elementary last year, I referred 90% of those children, so almost 100% of their children needed some form of dental treatment, some of those cases being pretty severe cases. And this year, they were only at 64%. So still way higher than what I want to see. The state rate or the state average is sitting at about 19 to 20% right now for kindergarten decay rates. The region that Jones County falls in sits at about 23% as of a couple of years ago. So, of course, we want to see that as low as possible, but somewhere around the 20% is where the state is hovering right now. So we definitely want to keep getting those down, but they went down substantially. Trenton, like I said, did kind of remain the same, but I had a lot of new enrollees from there. So I think a lot of those kids we've partnered, or I can't really say partnered with, but we have a good relationship with Lane & Associates in Maysville. So they've taken a lot of the kids from Trenton Elementary and made that office their dental home. So I kind of attritioned off some kids that needed treatment, and they went into that dental office, and now I've had an influx of new patients that still need treatments. I think that's why it kind of remains stagnant there, but still happy with the enrollment rate and really happy that only overall as a county, 56% of the kids had unmet dental needs, where last year it was 73%. And this is only our first or our second full school year, so I'm really happy with those numbers right now. Does anybody have any questions for me about the program? Would you like me explaining more about the program itself?
Ms. Perry, any questions?
Actually, I do. For the procedures that were 1757, so that's the procedures that they were referred to get that was actually performed.
Say that again. What you? That's the amount of individual procedures that I completed on the children. So cleanings, fluoride treatments, sealants, radiograph X-rays, any individual treatments out of the. We have 202 kids that were enrolled this year. Across those 202 kids, we performed a little over 1,700 individual procedures on them. So those were just preventive procedures. That what we do in the school is only prevention. So those procedures that I mentioned, if they have unmet needs as far as cavities or any other needs that they have to be met, they either go to our brick and mortar site in Greenville, or I try to help them connect with a local dentist.
Okay. And are you referring just to the Lane Associates or somebody else?
That is the only private practice that I have a working relationship with the office manager there. There are other offices. There's a pediatric office in Jacksonville that has taken a few of the patients, and anywhere outside that, I'm open to working with them. But it might be a case where a parent says, "Oh, well, I used to take my kid to this place in Pink Hill, so I'm going to go there and take them back there." So I will transfer records to anyone that needs them anywhere they need to go, but that's the only private practice that I actively talk to them on a regular basis.
Okay.
At this time.
Has the dental school opened up to seeing, are they treating patients now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they could go to the dental
They
school.
can go to the dental school. It's an hour drive. So I always give them the option if they want to find a more local dentist or if they want to go to the dental school. We have had several that have gone to the dental school, and I'm going to put a link to a news article for one of the kids that was connected to Give Kids a Smile event, which is like a free dental event at our Greenville clinic from Trenton Elementary, and her parents were interviewed and they gave her a really good testimony about the program. What
can we do to help you increase this?
Any thoughts or ideas on how to increase enrollment and make the public more aware of the program? Buy-in from, I have really good buy-in from all the principals and everything now. Everybody's really supportive. So just, I think kind of getting the forms, the physical forms that people want to fill out, from the student's book bag to the teacher to the school nurse or whoever. That's where a lot of things sometimes get left behind. I'm working on, I do have all the consents in DocuSign so parents can fill it out electronically. I sent out a QR code with all the kids that were enrolled this year at the end of the school year to the elementary kids. I'm working on something different for the high school kids that I think might be a little bit better, but it said your kid was enrolled this year. We need a consent form every year. Go ahead and fill this out. I've gotten, those were just sent out last week and I have gotten 4 returned on that already. So I thought that was pretty good for just the first few days. So I hope to be able to maybe send out text messages or something like that to help go ahead and get them re-enrolled before the school year even starts, because a lot of times our paperwork gets lost in that beginning of the year shuffle with everybody filling out the stuff that maybe they deem a little bit more important or things that they have to return. So any ideas or thoughts on how we can get those forms out and checked off would be great.
I appreciate what you're doing. There are children out there that they truly, they can't afford dental care.
They can, and
This may be the only way they get it, so I
Yeah.
appreciate you doing that.
thank you.
Good for y'all.
Yeah.
Mr. Griffin,
Thank you.
Ms. Wallace.
One quick question. We got a dental family that does not live in Jones County, they live in Craven County, but they have huge connections to the population in Jones County. Would you mind us contacting them and asking them if they would be interested in helping us with this?
Yeah, that would be great. I think I might know. I might have ran into them at some. Do they come to like community events and stuff in Jones County a lot?
Probably not,
Okay.
but they're landowners in the county and they've always, their dental offices helped a whole lot of,
In Craven County?
yes.
Okay.
And they,
Yeah, that
a lot of, they used to have a dental business here 30 years ago.
Okay.
But it's Craven County, but I know a lot of their business, a lot of Jones County uses them.
Yeah, that would be great. And I, just for reference, I live in Carteret County, so I kind of the Carteret, Craven, Pamlico area. I'm fairly familiar with some dental offices there. So yeah, anybody that I can make an association with that they want to work with
Thank you
any
for
of
the
these
Maysville
kids,
connection.
that would be awesome.
Thank you for your Maysville connection.
And-
And I just wanted to tell you, I used to have trouble getting football forms paperwork back, and that was playing. But I never thought of offering a bicycle.
I got that idea from an organization in Little River that they are part of our school-based program initiative. We are partnered with, we are funded through Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation and Duke Endowment for a bunch of programs in North and South Carolina. And so we all conference a couple of times a year, and it was very difficult for me as being a state institution. It was very difficult to get that ran up the flagpole for ECU and Delta Dental, but we had some good connections that made it happen. But the people in Little River are more of a private practice situation, so they can do what they want with that, but we made it happen and it worked out really well. We have a program in Berkeley County as well, and we did it for both counties, and it really incentivized the kids to bring those forms back and turn them in.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a big need.
Have you ever come and set up at open house at the beginning of the school year?
Yeah, I have, and I probably will again, this year. I don't get a whole lot of forms back that way. I get a lot of parents that grab them and say, I'll fill it out and send it back. They don't wanna stop, understandably, so they don't wanna stop and send it, because it's one page, but it's front and back, and it's, some medical history information and things that they just kind of grab it and go. So, what Maysville Elementary did for me this year, when they send their folder packet home, they have a optional, like, Girl Scouts, stuff like me, football, whatever, and then the mandatory side, and they put my form on the mandatory side this year. Like, again, they could decline services and check no for it, but they said, like, you have to fill this out. And our form is at the top, it says like name, school, child's name, school, and I think grade, and then it just says stop here if you want to decline services, just so we know. And I keep a spreadsheet of those kids, so we're not like beating their parents door down if they don't want services or don't.
Okay.
But yeah, open house, I do come to open houses, I go to community events, I do the back to school bash and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
go ahead.
Are there any, used to the bus came to the school
Mhm.
and they actually did the procedures on site.
Mhm.
So are there any dentists that are doing that now? Any of these retired dentists that?
Not right now in this area, so y'all had the bus, and then We came in after that. The problem that I heard with the bus is, and this is like not just from here, but like across anybody I've talked to, the difference between our type of program and the bus is that you're sending kids back to class with like gauze in their mouth and their numb. So some teachers don't care for that. It's really not a big deal in my opinion, but sometimes that doesn't bode well with teachers and administrators. The other problem with that was that it would only go to one site and they would have to bus the kids there. And then they would spend all day and like a teacher or TA or somebody would have to, go with them and they would come sit at one site. So those were the complaints that we heard about the bus. I am open to, working with any buses in the area, but I don't know of any right now. There is a bus that does like Washington, Beaufort County maybe, but we don't have a relationship with them right now.
You good? Only two things, and we'll be on a different spectrum here. Keep those referrals local.
Yeah.
In Maysville.
Yeah.
And also, do you think the open enrollment could be, or the filling out that the kids maybe have insurance? Is that a possibility?
Do they have insurance?
Yeah.
92% are Medicaid.
No, I'm talking about by getting a low referral back. I mean, or filling out the sheet. Do you think those parents may have insurance on their kids? Is that a possibility?
I'm not sure I understand that.
I wouldn't fill that sheet out because I pay insurance, dental insurance.
Oh, because you have private insurance.
Right.
Yeah, so we do have 92% of the kids that enroll are Medicaid recipients. So that is most of our enrollees. I do want to do a survey that kind of sees what the parents that are declining services, if it's because they're afraid they're going to get a bill or they just like have insurance and have a private practice that they already go to. But most of our kids are Medicaid. I imagine that the majority, the ones that maybe don't fill out the form, probably already have a relationship with a dentist, which is why I keep that spreadsheet of people that have declined services so that I can know like you're probably good and you don't need our services. And we don't, I will also say, we verify insurance before we see any children, and if they've been seen anywhere in the last 12 to 14 months, I always contact the parents to ask, are you sure you want me to see them, so that they're not hopping around between different offices, because a lot of people aren't sure if they think it's just a free service and they don't realize we're going to bill the insurance. So I always verify that they are intending to sign their child up for the program if they do in fact have insurance. And for those kids, there's about 5% that don't have insurance, and we get a grant from the Delta Dental Foundation every year that helps cover the cost of those services. So we do service children that don't have any dental insurances, and it gets written off.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Department update.
Good evening, board members. Department updates have been shared with you. One of the things that was not included in the department updates that's very important at this time of year is the testing season went very, very smoothly. That includes all departments, our principals, and our teachers. There were no misadministrations. All sites were compliant, and remediation plans were implemented successfully. That's a great way to end a school year and to not have any challenges with NCDPI. So thank you to our school sites. Thank you to all of our departments who have a hand in that. I mean, we even have maintenance make sure that they do not mow for 7 to 10 days during that time period, and they get things done on the other hand. So it affects all departments.
Mr. Walsh, of course.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Griffin. Yeah. Mr. Third. Right. Superintendent updating comments.
The month of May, before we jump into our testing season, it was a time to celebrate students. It was an honor to attend many of these events. We had award ceremonies at each of our elementary school sites. We also had athletic banquets, FFA banquets, HOSA banquets, National Honor Society banquets, just to name a few. It's always in our best interest to celebrate our kids when they've done well. Last Friday, we were able to honor our staff at an end-of-year banquet. Many of our staff received awards related to the work that they had done for this school year. We did announce our Teacher of the Year, Miss Brittany Cook, and our Principal of the Year, Dr. Mandy Gillis. They'll be representing us in the Southeast region this fall to see if they can go on into the state level. Finally, preliminary test results, which are embargoed. I cannot share specific numbers with you, but I can adamantly share this, is I am very, very proud of our students and staff and our schools. We will have a lot to be celebrating once the state allows us to release those numbers.
Mr. Watson, any questions?
Thank you.
I hadn't heard that in a long time.
No, hey. Any comment, question?
No, I'm just happy to hear, we're gonna hear good
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Do we have to wait?
We do.
All right, going to action items. A 25-26 Jones Senior High School arrival and dismissal times.
Sure. Board members, per request, a survey was administered to our stakeholders, which only included our parents, guardians, and our staff. In 2023, the schedule for Jones Senior's arrival and dismissal time was changed without stakeholder input. 195 households responded to the survey that I requested that Mrs. Reese administer. 31 staff members responded to the survey. Of their responses, nearly 70% requested that we return to the 7:55 a.m. start time and the 2:55 p.m. dismissal time. I'm requesting an action item and a vote on looking at what the stakeholders' input was in regard to the arrival and dismissal time.
Mr. Watson, any question?
No, just a second. How many people did you say responded?
195 households and 31 staff members.
What percentage is that of people polled?
The-
How many people asked them?
How many people asked?
I mean, how many
How many
people?
total households
How
is
many
there?
total households? Sorry.
How many more?
Well, there's
responded?
450 students, so there's 195 households. What we are not able to do in Power School is to identify a number of households. What I do know is multiple of our parents have more than one child.
Right.
And Mrs. Reese ran this survey multiple times in multiple different avenues. Mrs. Reese, can you tell me the types of platforms that you use?
Yes, I sent it out via email as well as text message. Sent it out on a Wednesday and again on a Sunday night, so that again, it would be easier to either email it or went straight to the phone.
But we got a really good percentage, of responses, you would think.
I would say
From our,
195.
that's all I was trying to find out. Thank you,
Yeah,
man. Thank
I
you.
would say 195 households.
Yeah.
I will
So
say,
only
oh, go ahead.
400 some students.
Yes. And one of the things that stood out to me is of the 31 staff members that responded, 28 of the 31 requested the 7:55 a.m. start time.
You know, about, so,
I mean,
31, about how many staff members? I mean, did we get 50% of both
how many teachers you had?
on the
Jones?
survey?
How many teachers at Jones Senior?
40
Oh, yeah.
teachers, certified teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
45.
So we got, I just want to make sure we got a good dip, you know what I'm saying? And we did. Thank you. Way to
Good
work.
question.
I'm good. We milked the cow. Good.
Mr. Griffin.
Well, my opinion, if it didn't respond, it didn't really matter for.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. I just
So
want
it
to know how
doesn't-
many.
So it doesn't really matter if it doesn't vote. What were you saying you were requesting a vote to do what at the very end? To change the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm good.
No question.
No question. Ms. Burke? Motion, entertain a motion.
Do we need to make that, are we in action items?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to change the start time back to
I want to
7:55.
second that, if I may.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. 25-26 Jones County Public School Board meeting schedule.
Board members, each time at this time of year, we present to you our upcoming board calendar. Candace has prepared that and shared that with you. The one date that is different than we had this year was the January meeting date. That first Monday in January is challenging because it's the first day when students come back after they've had a holiday break. So we changed it to the following Monday, which would be January 12th, 2026.
Walk any questions?
No, sir.
Griffin,
No.
Sheffield,
No.
Pittsburgh,
No questions.
entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to,
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. AIG plan.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to get, the board to approve the AIG plan for the 2025-2028 cycle. I had Candace send it to you, beforehand. It's 52-page document, so I didn't think you would want me to go through all of that with you tonight. So, I first want to ask to see if you have any questions about it. And if not, I just need board approval, and I need it to be signed by the board chair and, Dr. so that I can submit it by June 30th.
Ms. Birdie's question. Mr. Young,
No.
no,
No, sir.
entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the AIG plan.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 25-26 CLNA plan.
I'm here to inform you about the grant that was submitted to you last year and what we did in grant year 2. What we'll do in grant year 2 based on year 1, we asked what could we do to improve the CTE program. We asked this to our CTE advisory board members and other external stakeholders and parents. And they requested the following. Also, with other state requirements, we met and grants were received. Just want you to know that Jones County CTE was allocated under $50,000 to support CTE teachers with professional development, equipment, supplies, and field trips. So we're making the best of what we have. And so these are some of the things that we have done and what we will be doing in the 25-26 school year. And this information has been placed in the comprehensive local needs assessment, which will be sent to DPI and the federal government. The request was to have an early graduate exit survey. So those students who graduated early, when they graduated, we would know where they're going, if they were going to enroll in college, enlist in the military, or become employed. And so that is now in place. Every student that graduates in November or December, those students have to take an exit survey so we can track them as to what they're doing once they graduate early. Another thing that's going to happen is the career development plan for all 8th graders. There's been a general statute about that. Starting with the rising 8th, 9th graders, they have to have a career development plan. We already have in place all 8th graders this year. They all have a career development plan that will follow them through high school, and we will track them, Mr. Sutton and myself. We've had an increase also in internships opportunities. We have up to 18 students this year participate in internships, and this has been a great thing for us. Some internships are paid and some aren't. Also, we've upgraded quite a bit of equipment in our CTE programs. We have an articulation agreement, of course, with LCC, and we've added entrepreneurship because that's a class that will be offered next year at the high school. And we currently have an articulation agreement in marketing, ag mechanics 1, foods and culinary 1 and 2, early childhood ed 1, which we will be bringing back this coming year, nursing fundamental, auto 1, 2, and 3, and animal science 1 and 2. We're so grateful that Parkville Presbyterian Church donated a minibus to us. Our CTE teachers were trained on the new Patterson and Patterson Lab, which were for our middle grade students, so they can decide what type of career path they would like to be involved in. Career interest surveys were given to 5th through 12th grade, 5th through 12th grade students. Career Day was a success this year. Major partnership with Bosch is still being celebrated. And we also have a livestock barn now at the high school and a greenhouse. And all of this was because of a grant called CTE with Ag Education. And the last thing I'd like you to know is that we will be offering a summer med camp hosted by Mrs. Ella Morale with the health science program for students. I think most of the students are middle school students, and that will be June 9th through the 12th.
Very good.
Any questions?
Did I hear you say some new classes next year?
Yeah, early childhood education is coming back. We need, that's a demand
Yeah.
in our region to have daycare owners. We need teachers also. So that's something that's coming back in collaboration with Mrs. Reese and the Johnson High School admin team. And that's something that students want to, that's what they desire, that's what their career interest is.
Okay, good.
Also, Foods 1 and 2 is coming back, so we have high enrollment in our Foods classes also.
Yay, good deal, good deal. It's good news.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do.
Yep.
Yeah, just thank you.
All right. Action item E, bid approval.
Thank you, guys.
Huh?
You approve it?
Gotta approve.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion,
Second.
got a motion second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, now bid approval for paint and major elementary.
I'm here tonight to approve for the painting contract for Maple Elementary School. Give you a little background on this about our due diligence and what we did to put this bid in place. We solicited by 2 different methods. April, the first week in April, the schedule was posted on our website, which is there now. It was also advertised in the Sun Journal soliciting contractors to bid on painting the school. We conducted a contractors walkthrough. April 22nd, we had 4 contractors that actually came to the school and did a walkthrough. We set the bid process up to take place May 14th through 11 p.m. We had 3 contractors that actually submitted bids for this, and that's what you have in front of you now. My recommendation is Creech Painting, which come in as the lowest bidder of $73,900. The next bid was $82,000, and the highest bid was $96,000. My recommendation is that we hire Creech Painting to perform the work at Maple Elementary School. If there are any questions you may have, please.
Mr. Watson, any question?
Tim, you know where they're from, what they work out of?
They've actually painted that school in the past, about 10 years ago. They were out of the North County.
The North, okay. Thank you, sir.
You good?
Yes, sir.
I saw in the contract they couldn't have any tobacco products. How about anything else? Most of the painters I know, they don't smoke cigarettes, they smoke something else.
Not only a job.
I tell you what we've done, we monitor that on a daily basis.
That's all I got.
We got an hourly drug test for all employees.
Yeah.
No.
Ms. Burr?
What color we painting?
Well, the actual staff has suggested light gray, and since I
Awesome.
require 2 coats, I don't have a problem with that. But the representative from Sherwin-Williams is gonna be there Wednesday morning to nail those colors down. So the interior of the building will be light gray, the exterior of the building will remain forest green. And if it's approved tonight, they're gonna start pressure washing the building tomorrow to go ahead and move forward and get the exterior done within the next couple of weeks to move inside the school to get it done. So we don't run into a problem at the end of school starting back, as Oslo County did in the past, and all that talk over in school. So hopefully we can have this thing nailed down and completed by the end of July.
So will the staff be there for the?
The staff will be, I
Painting?
talked to the staff today.
Good deal.
Once the painting starts inside the building, the staff will be moved out. And the suggestion is that they be put at the PD center until they can be brought back to the school.
So they helped choose the color. That's good.
And that's what they said they wanted, and I didn't have a problem with it.
That's awesome. I think that'll be a nice change.
Heard you mention Sharon Williams, that reason why we buy the paint, because we get that contract.
Exactly.
Right.
What
I
we
just thought
do
about
is,
that.
I can buy
Yeah.
from Sherwin-Williams actually cheaper
Yeah.
than the Sherwin-Williams store. can
They
purchase
can't,
paint.
yeah.
And that is the reason they furnish it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I
Just
talked
thought
to
about
him today, he said Oslo County just cleaned him out, so we need to, I've already got some I've spoken for.
Yeah.
So anyway, all school systems.
Got a good.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
I'll second that. There it is.
Got a motion and a second, Ms. Bird. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Action item F, policy 2500, hearings before the board.
Mr. Creech.
Hi, everybody. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, in your packet, you have policy 2500, option A and option B. And from what I read, really the only difference is one is very detailed and one is not. And so it's really kind of up to the board discretion which policy you'd like to go with.
Which is the easiest one to, do legal?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I think one of the differences is that the option B really gives your chair or the kind of person serving that role for a panel the discretion to come up with hearing procedures to be followed in a particular hearing, right? So there's lots of flexibility with that. Option A kind of spells out the different formats for hearings.
A being the two-pager.
Correct.
Three.
3 pages.
3, sorry.
Yeah.
I ain't got a 2. Back and front, my bad.
Saturday.
There's stuff on the back there.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe now. Do we have a line asking y'all how you feel about it? Asking you your recommendation?
I don't really have a recommendation either way.
Okay.
I mean, I think less is more.
I do too.
If you have a
That's what I'm looking for, right?
condensed version that gives the chair autonomy.
Maura, are you comfortable with the condensed version? I reckon
Yes.
you're.
Yeah, I mean, I think either is
Save on paper if we have to.
I got you.
So option B is what
Yeah.
you're recommending? I'll make a motion to approve it in like that.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Budget amendment number 9.
Good stuff, like, just talking.
Last one of the year, ain't it? This is the last one of the year, isn't it?
No,
July, probably not.
she got
So polite. Probably
Yeah.
not.
We're not meeting again.
She got a form for you to approve. She got a form for you to approve.
She'll call you.
All right. Go ahead.
Good evening, board members. I do have before you budget amendment number 9. We did have some changes that we have from the budget since the last budget amendment that was approved by the board, budget number 8. And those changes included additional funding from the state. We did require some additional PRC 011 funding to help us cover the expenses for many of our employees that were retiring this year, and we had to pay out their ADL. So we did have to request additional funding from the state. In order to do that,
And we also received an additional allotment from the state for transportation of homeless children. It was a small amount, $5,442, but it came in, it was very helpful to offset some of the transportation costs that we had in transporting some of the homeless students. We also had an increase to our Fund 4, our capital funding, and that just actually reflects additional sales tax revenue that we received from the county, but was not budgeted originally. And then our child nutrition funding requested an increase of $25,000 for that, and that's just to make sure that Ms. Lisa has enough budget to carry her through the month of June for those final payroll and food expenses. And then lastly, we decreased our Fund 8 grant funding. Now that we are towards the end of the year and we realize what we would and would not be receiving through grant funding for our pre-K and our NC pre-K and our Smart Start program, we decreased that budget to more accurately reflect what we were going to receive in grant funding. So at this time, I'll answer any questions that the board members might have regarding budget amendment number 9.
Mr. Walker.
This is more of a societal question than it is a financial. And I may be asking the wrong person. How many children do we have on homeless list? Am I allowed to ask that?
Homeless, 16. We have 16 and 2 of them are homeless due to living at campgrounds. The other 14 are in not sustainable housing, which means they're living with other family members.
Any other questions?
I have one. Tell me about pre-K again, about the funding. I know we didn't get some funding last year, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And stuff, are we back on track, or we're still not getting what we need?
We're not being fully funded for the pre-K program through the North Carolina partnership. So at the beginning of the year, we just do a best guess of how many students we anticipate in the NC program and how much money we think that we might get from the NC partnership.
Are we getting is there a reason why we're not getting it?
The number of students, the amount of funding that we receive from them is based solely on the amount of students that are enrolled in those programs.
But we're getting, but the paperwork's being put in and all that like it needs to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything's being submitted. The count of the students is accurate. We check that when we do our monthly invoices. But if the lower the number, the lower the amount of funding we receive.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Good. You good?
I think I'm all right. I'm not good, but I'm all right. I understand what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
You know, all right. Any questions? Yes, sir. All right, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget amendments.
I'll second.
Got a motion second, all in favor? Any opposed? Action item H, 25-26 budget resolution.
Yes, sir. Back in April, the board approved our planning budget for 25-26. And a few weeks after that, we did finally receive our actual planning budget from the state, which we did not have at the time that we did our planning budget. So based on the information that we've received from the state, and then also we finalized our negotiations with the county, I'm now presenting to the board for approval our budget resolution for 25-26. And some of the changes that were made from the planning budget to the budget resolution for the state, we had a reduction in funding for our school health personnel. We went down from 4 to 3. And also we went down from 3 to 2 in our instructional support personnel, our guidance counselors and our social workers. Once we received the planning budget from the state, the directors and Mr. Whittington, Dr. Marquis, we all got together and just looked at those numbers to figure out what we needed to do to continue to provide the service that we know that our students needed. So Ms. Laura has been working with her budget so that she can mitigate the reduction in that funding from the personnel changes that the state has already allocated.
But she's going to provide some extra funding from her, funding that she gets for EC programs to make sure that we continue to have the personnel we need to provide support to the students. So we feel like we won't have an issue with the decrease in funding, for those programs. We also had some reductions for textbooks, and Ms. Janelle is working to see how she can use her Title I funding and also work with the schools to make sure that they receive the textbooks that they're gonna be needing, because we did receive a significant decrease in our textbook funding. And then there were some PRCs that we anticipated being included in the state planning budget, but which were not. That included our school safety grant, driver's program, driver's training, school technology, summer reading camp. We do believe that we're gonna get those allotments. They just were not part of the state's planning allotments. So I took those out until the state budget is passed, and then we'll add those into our budget amendments. Are there any questions on the adjustments for the state portion?
Mr. Lawson?
No,
Mr. Griffin?
thank you.
No, it sounds like you kinda got it, Courtney, I mean, headed in the right direction, thank you.
Mr. Griffin?
And then just lastly, for the capital funding, we all saw the negotiation agreement that we finalized with the county, and this budget resolution just documents what those final numbers were coming from the county.
So that was a reduction of 700, a little over 700,000.
Yes, sir. So about 130 of that was just for the school bus allocation. That is not county funded, that's state funded, and it wasn't part of the state planning allotment, so I've just temporarily taken that out until the state gives us that back. The difference of it was about 643, and that's typically what we get in Article 40 and 41 funding, which we will not be receiving from the county, but they're gonna use those funds to cover the lease payment, for the new building. And so I removed that as if it was an allocation coming straight to the district.
Okay. Ms. Bird, any questions? On local?
No.
Mr. Fiel?
No.
Mr. Griffin?
Say that again about the, you removed what kind of funding so they could use the payments?
As part of our county negotiations, the county's gonna be making the direct payments for the new school building.
Right.
And usually Article 40, 42 funding, we receive those funds, and then we use them for capital expenses.
Is that the,
The half cent sales
tax?
tax,
Okay.
yes, sir. And so now we won't be receiving those funds directly, but the county is going to maintain those funds to make the lease payments.
How much do they have to put with it to make a lease payment? Do you know about?
Yes, so they're gonna take the 600,000 that we typically get. The lease payments for the entire year is over $1,627,000 at this point. So they'll be making
About
rest of
another,
that payment.
another $500,000 payment.
another million.
Another million.
Yeah.
That came with the transition of powers, right?
Yes, sir, from first floor back to the
Yeah.
county.
Right,
Yeah, Mr. Griffin?
yeah, I'm good.
Mr. Lawson?
I'm good, thank you.
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a second? All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? All right, request for delegation of authority to the superintendent, Dr. Bryce Marquis, for budget amendment for fiscal year 2025.
Yes, sir. As we did last year, because the board will not be meeting again in the month of June, we are still, taking steps to close out the year. And that might require some additional budget adjustments, whether we're having to request additional guaranteed funds, PRC 011, PRC 009 from the state. If we get any additional allotments from the state at the last minute. We do have some changes with CTE budgets that I anticipate is gonna happen in June. So there may be some budget adjustments that may have to be approved between now and the end of June. And rather than request another meeting of the board at the last minute, I'm asking that Dr. Marquis be given the authority to approve those budget adjustments. And then the board be notified of those budget adjustments at the next board meeting.
I'll make that into a motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment?
Nobody signed up, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Rady.
Board member comment. Mr. Wall.
Just hoping for a good end of the year. We've already had a pretty good winding down from what I understand. Thank you a lot. Just hoping that everybody has a great graduation. Very proud of what we've done this year. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. Griffin.
I want to thank Ms. Ray and all the other directors and all the ones that are trying to put together all this extra money when they need in order to get through another year. It sounds like a lot of work behind the scenes. So, all staff seem to be doing it, so thank you. That's it.
I say I would say the same thing that Dave said. Appreciate everybody at every level for the work that's been done to make this a successful school year.
I just got a quick question for you, Ms. Reddy. The online programs that we implemented this year, that was to make it easier for parents and students to pay ahead. I don't remember the name.
School Cash Online.
Cash Online, and then seems like there was one more that was for something else. Titan, is there a Titan?
Yes.
Is there a Titan one?
Titan is our child nutrition
Child
program,
nutrition.
so.
Did we get those where, I mean, I know we're paying for them, are they being utilized?
School Cash Online is absolutely being used, and I think just listening to the parents and even some of the teachers, they really appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that, using their debit credit card versus coming in to pay cash. Titan with child nutrition is still a work in progress. There have been some issues with ledger entries not automatically posting the way they did before Titan. So Ms. Lisa is still working with Link to kind of get that together, yes.
Okay. So that's all I have, other than I just want to thank everyone for the invitations to the banquets. I really enjoyed it. I love seeing the kids. Sorry for the ones that I did not make. And I thank Dr. Marquise and Mr. Whittington and everyone here for all, and Miss Reddy for all of your work, and Mr. Parker over there is everywhere. And thank you for all of your hard work and
We're napping, Parker.
making sure that we're successful.
Good. I just want to thank, congratulate Miss Cook and for the teacher of the year, and Miss Mandy Gillis for the principal of the year. Sorry that I missed it, but I want to congratulate them. And also, again, to the staff, from the superintendent down to finance, Mr. Wynn and Candace, Mr. Parker, and all of the other teachers. I go across the state a lot, and I just brag about Jones County schools all the time on how great our parents are. You know, how great this board are, that we have nowhere near the problems that I see across the state. Again, we don't get it right here, but again, we don't have any disruptions at our board meetings. We try to get along. We try to make the right decision, have an admin, and it's paying off. I could be hard on that 50%, and to hear tonight that has went up. I just think that's, for me, it's going to be exciting to hear those numbers and finally see that, you know, Jones County Schools is going in that direction. So again, nobody can't come in here and tell me that they can go somewhere else and get a better education. Again, thank you. Motion to go in closed session. So moved.
Mr. Chair,
I got it.
can you add the student piece there?
No, you told me. You told me I had to. No. No, you told me I didn't have to.
Mara, you do it once a month.
You had a closed session to prevent disclosure of information that is previously confidential on state federal law, pursuant to general statute for students 143(3)18A and 115C 402 20 USC 1232 and general statute. You messed me up. 143(3)18 A1, 115C 319 321, 143(3)18 11A3, 143(3)18 11A6. Got a motion, got a second,
Second.
got a second. All in favor? Any opposed?
What you want to do is just get that, get posted up there on the screen, and say it's posted on the screen.